Hi there, my name is John Whall. I'm a digital participation artist and producer and the participation and outreach lead for MBD based in Leicester. For this soapbox, I'm going to be talking about participation in the metaverse and a brief overview of recent research supported through Arts Council's Developing Your Own Creative Practice Fund. So the term metaverse has its origins in the 1992 science fiction novel Snow Crash as a combination of meta and universe. It's not something new, but through PR and marketing, etc., metaverse has become a buzzword for anything online and using virtual or augmented reality. I deliberately used it as a buzzword for this soapbox, but my interest in working in and with these technologies began around 3 to 4 years ago, way before the term was used as it is done today. I'd also like to give a big thanks to the Arts Council for their support through the DYCP fund, Junction Arts for supporting my DYCP research, and Level Centre for a recent residency that allowed me to take this research further than I was expecting. So for my DYCP, I wanted to investigate participant-led co-creation in immersive spaces. To do this, I wanted to improve my skills in using game engine technology, examine existing collaborative online immersive spaces like New Art City and Mozilla Hubs, and to support access by exploring ways to share participant-made work without the need of VR headsets or additional equipment. So within this research was also the use of virtual reality creative applications in the creation of work such as Multibrush, which is a free multiplayer version of Google's Tilt Brush, where you're able to draw and model in three-dimensional space. What is exciting about Multibrush is that it allows for creativity within a virtual space that requires minimal skill development compared to 3D modeling, for example. This is something I explored with community arts participants through Junction Arts as part of their community lantern making workshops for the Bolton Lantern Parade. While in the midst of this research, I was also fortunate to be offered a residency as part of the Level Residency Lab at Level Centre in Matlock. This residency was a great opportunity to work with learning disabled participants, where I'd put some of this research to the test, as well as take the time to develop some of the ideas that required more technical skills, including an immersive notebook, which took the multi-brush method of creating content and through the game engine Unity allowed audiences to view the work via a web browser. I was also able to test out accessibility with the technology, where a deaf participant was able to experience Multibrush and still be able to see the signing of a support worker, thanks to the VR headset capabilities to see the real and virtual world simultaneously through a function called Space Sense. So a brief overview of the findings so far. Participant co-creation in immersive meta spaces is definitely possible, with multiple points of input and skills for participants to be a part of. Tools like Multibrush offer accessible methods of creating for immersive spaces whilst participating in the immersive space. And what I like about Multibrush is that it is in keeping with the relational aesthetics of community engaged work. It doesn't try to be hyper-realistic or become something else when you transfer the work to tools that display it. In terms of spaces, New Art City is a fantastic space for co-creation and co-production. It allows for collaboration in an online space, as well as a place for sharing work with others. It allows for sharing of still and moving image, 3D models and scans of participant-made work, and in relation to the post-pandemic world, is completely accessible online. Its tools also keep track of file sizes to avoid higher loading times, as well as optimizing files for best viewing, and completely removes the need to work with a game engine to power the space. Its downside is that it has limited options in relation to social tools and voice communication, for example, and is best when combined with other applications like Zoom. Mozilla Hubs, on the other hand, is much more social space with avatars and voice communication, and even allows for access in VR. This space became the main immersive participation space during my residency with Level, which is where my DYCP was elevated and a new aspect of my practice started to form. Because the residency explored the phenomenological first-person perspective of immersive technology, lots of layers started to form around immersive spaces becoming more than just exhibition spaces, but also records of participatory process, where audiences can come and interact with the participation space, as well as be a part of it themselves. From a phenomenological perspective, whether a participant created in the physical space or the digital one, they essentially have the same experience of creating in a specific location. There also came the notion of the duality of these spaces, participating and facilitating in the digital space whilst being physically present in the physical one. So this research is still ongoing. I'm just finishing off a small project I gave myself as part of my DYCP and make excited on where the development of these skills and thinking will take me. One thing I will say is that the metaverse isn't something new and can very much offer accessible ways for participatory practice to thrive. So don't be afraid to give it a try. If you do want to find out more, please visit my website at www.johnwall.art. And thank you for listening to my soapbox.